live from Kentucky and Louisiana. 2 Marines, 1 mission. This is Sense and Senseless.
All right. This is the Sense and Senseless podcast. I'm Jason.
And I'm Brian. Embrace yourself. This one isn't light. Tonight, we're going to go where most people won't, straight into the rot. We're going to talk about a country that's never been richer, never been safer, and never been softer. A nation that survived the Depression, won world wars, and slowly domesticated itself into something that panics at a cold shower or obeys without question when someone in a lab coat says 2 weeks to flatten the curve. We'll look at the obedience programs that have already proven most of us are sheep. The Hollywood executives who openly admit they're writing shows for an 8th grade intellect because that's what the data demands. And a World War II veteran who just this year told an interviewer, "I fought for nothing." We'll ask why the Epstein files might be the grenade that Democrats use to implode their party. Why sextortion is quietly becoming new child torture, and why a woman in America right now could be held captive for months and shot with a BB gun daily while the rest of us scroll past the headline. And we'll end on a question nobody in power wants to ask out loud. Is the war on God itself the final divide and conquer play? Because once you remove one thing bigger than state, the tribe, or the algorithm, what exactly holds the people together? That's the question. This is a dark episode. It's supposed to be. That's too much, I understand, no judgment. But if you're willing to stare at what's breaking, strap in. Welcome to episode 3. This is Sense and Senseless.
Live from Kentucky and Louisiana, 2 Marines, 1 mission. This is Sense and Senseless. From the hills to the bayou, stories collide. Brothers in arms, now we're side by side. Sense and senseless, we cut through the noise. 2 Southern Marines with that rebel voice. Grab a seat, pour a drink, let's make some sense. Or none at all, it just depends. Sense and senseless.
Yeah, I like that song, man.
I do too.
Yeah, so America's domesticated for sure. I mean, we got millions in this country that, never eaten a cold meal, taken a cold shower, or even skip either one of those entirely. I mean, they never had to walk to work, miles to work. I mean, not for fitness, because that was their only option. So what bothers me is when feral threats cross our borders. I mean, do we have the grit to fight back? I mean, do our people have what it takes to defend themselves, let alone our country? I mean, just recently, a mayor of New York City was elected because he was going to give them free stuff, really. And Jason, how's that working for him?
Yeah, it's not working out real well. I mean, what I seen was Governor Hochul come on the media and start already slamming down the free buses. I mean, she said the money isn't there for that, and from what I'm hearing too, I mean, I'm new to the politics stuff and all
Yeah,
that,
me too.
but busing or funding is more of a state, right? So I know each area has their own budget and funds or whatever, but the state hands down the money to the cities and counties and stuff like that. And then you have board members or whatever. I mean, the mayor, I think people get confused. Like, you need to come to like a rural area, like where I live.
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
where you live. The mayor doesn't have the amount of pull that people think a mayor would have.
Just saying that, I can't even tell you the mayor's name and where I live.
Right.
I mean,
mean,
I just...
Yeah, and I live in
I
between
can
two
tell you
towns.
the sheriff's name.
Yeah.
I mean, the sheriff, everyone knows the sheriff. Not many people know the mayor.
Right. And I know the county judge executive where I'm at. Now, he has more pull.
Is there a reason you know the judge?
He's the county judge executive. He's not actual a judge. So you need,
got him
you
in
need
your
to look
pocket.
that up. No, he's like the mayor of the county. So the
Oh,
county
okay.
is bigger than the towns, right?
So we
So
we got parish presidents.
right. So we
So I
got
guess that's the same thing. Because I mean,
yes
we don't have counties. We got parishes, but we have
parishes.
parish presidents.
Yeah, y'all got to have all that French cuisine stuff down
What
there.
the hell?
So
No, if you
parishes,
really want to, if you really want to go that way, it's really based off of Catholic religion
yeah,
because the parish is through the churches, and that's how we got
yeah.
our parishes.
So yeah, so that's the
So
little
we're more religious than you in Kentucky. So
I know. So, anyways, I know you are, but what am I?
yeah,
I bet you my parish can beat up your parish, but uh,
hey
yeah,
man, don't
it's
go
same
there.
thing. So I
We'll go
guarantee,
out there and kick rocks. You
yeah.
know,
So your parishes encompass a lot of cities, though, right? Or
correct.
towns.
Just like a county, but it's a parish. Yep. Correct.
Yeah. So you've got a parish president, and they probably have more pull than a mayor does
Yeah,
of the
more than
towns
likely. Yeah,
inside it.
and that's
So
more probably like your executive uh judge person for
right
the county.
now, I think where people get confused is like New York City, Chicago, Los Angeles. When we start talking about San Francisco really isn't even in there. I mean, LA, New York City, Chicago. Those are when you hear those, you think of almost that their own state. You know, nobody knows New
Yeah,
York other than New York City, right? So when you say New York, people think of New York City. They don't think of where like Brad Tolles was from, like out in the country in Rochester, New
yeah.
York.
I remember whenever you'd always pick at somebody for being from New York, they'd be like, "I'm from upstate."
Yeah,
That's the first thing they would say. They just wanted to make sure that you knew they were not from the city. I'm from
th-
upstate.
that's right. And that's pretty bad that a lot of New York state residents do not like to assimilate
And
themselves with New
that
York
was
City.
the early and mid '90s.
Yeah, that they
You know,
couldn't they didn't even want to be part of it then, and now uh me and my wife actually that was we were almost going to do a trip there and go up the East Coast like Maryland and go up all the way to Maine, and I wanted to stop in New York City, and I don't think I want to anymore. So I just wanted to say I was there. I wanted to go to Times Square and say I was there, but I
we're
don't.
still thinking about doing it, but we go back and forth for that same reason. So I get that.
Yeah, I wanted to go to Niagara Falls. Wanted to go to Maine. Go try to catch a lobster fat. Like once again, I like food. The camera kind of shows that. But anyways, um, but yeah, we got a video here. Why don't you play that? The
Yeah.
Mondami
So
video with Government Hochul.
yeah, we get that out. Turn the damn volume down all the way.
Okay.
That'll stop you.
Crank that stuff up, Brian. Play that
That's
funky
right.
music, white boy.
I'm getting a little too far ahead of myself. Here's Hochul and Mondami.
In America, fast and free.
I cannot set forth a plan right now that takes money out of a system that relies on the fares of the buses and the subways. But can we find a path to make it more affordable for people who need help? Of course we can.
I continue to be excited at the work of making the slowest buses in America fast and free. And I appreciate the governor's continued partnership in delivering on that agenda of affordability. I'm just as excited as I was about free buses today as I was more than a year ago.
Childcare, I already committed to. We'll be on a path to get there because I'm committed to this as a mom governor. I get it. But also to do it statewide right now, it's about $15 billion, the entire amount of my reserves.
I am confident that what we will find in Albany is a politics of partnership that we have not seen for quite some time. And so I think much of this will remain hypothetical, in that what we have found in the conversations we've been having is that affordability is in fact a thread that unites many across the party and the necessity of delivering on it. And I also am looking forward to being a mayor who means exactly.
Hit that cycle button. But
Yeah.
man,
I mean, $15 billion for childcare. I mean, I thought it was free, Brian. 15 billion, that's a lot of money. I mean, I've never seen 15 billion before. Never, I can't fathom that kind of money. Where'd free go? Who's paying that?
and what I hear Hochul saying, and I don't have any love for Hochul, but I hear her saying what needs to be done, and I hear him saying nothing. I mean, he is saying exactly nothing.
No,
And it's bad when you say less than what Hochul's actually saying. I mean, they both speak in words, but they have no substance.
right.
You know,
His lips are
all he's
moving,
saying
but
is,
his words ain't saying nothing.
no, means nothing.
He's
it
still
is just,
hanging on to free buses and free childcare, and she's basically saying the money's not there.
yeah, I mean, he is.
He doesn't have the power that people think that he has, but it's that brainwashing that we've talked about, I
But
think, last episode, that people just, they hear them trigger words. Oh, that's who I'm voting for. Free. Boom. Boom.
But what's sad is you saying that, but I was just reading earlier today that Hochul's being pressured by other Democrats to either raise taxes or find a way to fund this stuff.
Yeah, because
So
he's
at the end
looking
of the
like
day,
a
she might
flaring
lose.
idiot.
Yeah, well, the Democratic Party's pushing her. I mean, so she's actually have to have the balancing act of, okay, is she going to hold the line, and or is she going to raise taxes when she, don't want to raise taxes, because that makes her look bad. He still looks good because he's giving out the free shit, but she has to raise the taxes to support what he's doing, and
Yeah.
that's what the Democratic Party wants right now.
And it's going to be the whole state that has to do this, Brian.
Yeah, the whole state's going to pay for his free shit.
So we were making fun of earlier, these people we knew from New York and the military, they always said, hey, I'm from upstate New York. I'm like, They did not want, back in the 90s, they didn't want nothing to do with that. So they're going to get penalized and hammered to pay for Mandami's little project, his socialist project in the city. Once again, I mean, why would you want to work? Why would you want to make money when you got some idiot that says, hey, I'm going to take half of Brian's stuff and give to you?
Because you used to have pride. I mean, you didn't want nobody to give you anything.
Well,
and I think the problem is the default now is, why am I working so hard when that son of a bitch is not doing anything?
That's
So
right.
that makes you lose your feeling of, of pride. So you join him, and I think that's what they want. I mean, they're trying to go to socialist shit. Well, hold on. Let's see what Megyn Kelly got to say about Mandami.
All right.
He is so radical, and we heard Kevin O'Leary say, well, he's going to be forced to moderate. Does he sound moderate? Because he does not seem to be headed down the path of moderation based on what we saw last night. In fact, he went directly like that from the super smiley, like, social media guy who used to be a rapper, and he's just going to be a mayor for everybody, and, like, we can worry about the affordability, to, like, the guy who loves the radical Islamist imam. That's who he sounded like last night. Listen.
As has so often occurred, the billionaire class has sought to convince those making $30 an hour that their enemies are those earning $20 an hour. They can play by the same rules as the rest of us. So hear me, President Trump, when I say this. To get to any of us, you will have to get through all of us. After all, the conventional wisdom would tell you that I am far from the perfect candidate. I am Muslim. I am a democratic socialist. And most damning of all, I refuse to apologize for any of this.
This guy, he is so radical, and we heard Kevin O'Leary say, well, he's going to be forced to moderate. Does he sound moderate?
He says I'm Muslim and I'm a socialist, and the biggest thing is I don't apologize for either. What if another candidate got up there saying I'm Baptist or I'm Pentecostal or I'm Catholic?
Yeah, what does Muslim? Well,
why
what
does
he's saying
why
is
does
he's
he
different.
that? Well, it's that infiltration that you're going to see. You mark my word.
Oh yeah, you're right. I tell you what, he is proud that he's a Muslim, and you're right. He's infiltrating. I get that.
Yeah, he's going to allow that, and they were already out on the streets already saying that our footing is getting set for this, right? So, but if that would have been a Christian, I'm just saying, if that had been a Christian up there saying that I'm this, and I believe in core values and home, not socialism, but I believe in conservative thinking and biblical and all that stuff, they'd have hung their butt up. You know what I'm saying? They'd have hung them.
Yeah.
The media and everybody.
And that's because, like we was discussing earlier, the media is owned, by 6 big conglomerates. At least what I read, it's 90% of the media is owned by basically 6 companies.
Yeah, and
And
it
trust me, they're not us. And I mean, that's
No.
including Fox Network,
And I'm going to tell you right
And-
now that the Muslim people, I was over in Iraq, people, and hopefully a lot of people that listen to us going forward spent some time over there, veterans and things like that. When you're sitting there riding in convoys and you see a pickup truck with sheep in the back, a dog sitting up front with the man in the air conditioning, and the women in the back of the bed with the sheep. That's
Yeah.
And they don't deal with gays. They'll hang them.
Well, you know what's sad though is the majority of the people that support this shit are rich white women that have nothing better to do with their life. And just like you said, they would be nothing to these people.
Yeah.
Especially the men.
Yeah.
They would be nothing, but they support this shit.
Yeah.
Well, let's look at, you're talking about religion. Let's see how the New York Jews see about this. This is another clip from the same segment of Megyn Kelly.
One of the strongest voices warning about Mamdani has been WABC radio host in New York, Sid Rosenberg. Here he is Saturday at the Republican Jewish Coalition Leadership Summit. Watch.
When this group gets together and talks about Israel, talks about Hamas, as important as it is, now it's home. And when they took over New York City, which they're about to do in 4 or 5 days, the rest of the country gets a heck of a lot easier. We all can't move to Florida. I'm sorry, Siggy. I lived in Boca for 16 years. I was bored to death. So some of us that actually like New York City, some of our better states in this country, it's scary. So I think we need to figure out, as a group of strong and proud Jewish people, what do we do from here? How do we make sure that this invasion doesn't continue? And how do we make sure that my 16-year-old son, Gabriel, and 21-year-old daughter, Ava, can take the 6th train to New York City and wear their Star of David and not worry about getting home safely?
The Jews have a whole separate problem with this guy. New Yorkers in general have a massive one. What does he believe? Who are his friends and why? And what is his plan for the greatest city in the world?
Yeah. They pretty much saying right there.
Yeah.
They're going
to be
scared. We need to come together and take care of this.
Dude. Jeez.
Yeah.
Have you been, has anybody
else
been?
That starts...
Dude, women were scared that Trump was going to take away their rights when he got voted in. He was in before. They never lost any rights. Charlie Kirk called him out about it all the time at these colleges. What rights did you lose? They never lost nothing, Brian. This is...
Yeah, but this guy's not saying he's going to take away any rights.
No.
He's not saying it, though.
No. Come on, dude.
He's
we
going
know
to take
what that
care
religion
of everyone.
does.
No doubt, but he's saying nothing, and people just listen to nothing and are just happy with it because of what you said earlier. They want free.
Yeah, he threw free in
free
there, and that just muted everything, dude.
Muted everything else out.
He could have said, "I'm going to come in here and do genocide and all that, but we're going to give you free buses." They've been like, "Chink, free." He said free. I didn't hear that other crap he said. I just heard free. That's ignorance. It's borderline stupid. I've always been told ignorant people just don't know better. Stupid people know better and keep doing stuff. And you get people are getting borderline stupid, Brian, and you can't fix stupid. But anyway,
we'll talk about that later. We ain't getting borderline stupid. We fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Well, so on the East Coast, we got Hochul and Mondami, who's our socialist, So last week we were joking about it, a week before last, joking about Mondami, being either the Penguin or the Joker and bringing it all down in Gotham and burning it down.
Right.
Well, if he's the Penguin or the Joker, we got to go Gavin Newsom in California. So what is he? Harvey Dent? Oh, Two-Face?
Two-Face, baby.
He's good looking guy, talks real good. Doesn't say shit, just like Mondami, but he talks real well.
I think he knows sign language real well, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah. It looks like that bitch always throwing up gang signs. Let's check out Newsom.
Now we doubled the National Guard. We have 1,608 forces, but we have more important
So we have the winds. We're getting confirmation
Fucking
from
cabbage
the corner, so we always
patch.
have to be careful.
The Tootsie
On the
Roll.
death
That's
toll,
what he's
we're gonna
doing.
see 50+ mile an hour gusts subject
Tootsie
to
Roll.
change. So executive orders on price gouging, recovery. We can then start the big contracts to remove the debris torn asunder. We're going to be back. We're going to do it efficiently and effectively. Don't turn your back. Don't walk away. We want to make sure that the associated costs with that are not disproportionate. The imperative moving quickly, doing in the spirit of collaboration and cooperation. We're talking to labor leaders. We're starting to organize how we can put together.
Yeah, it's all.
Is that a new TikTok dancer coming out with?
I mean, what the fuck?
Instead of the Dougie, it's called the Newsome, right?
Yeah, so I was like, there's no way that's real. So I had to see if I can find any more. And this is just recently in Brazil. I mean, pretty much doing the same shit.
Start to decline. You're seeing it across the spectrum right now, in my state included, which is one of the most blessed and cursed states as it relates to climate. We're on the tip of the spear of climate change. Simultaneous droughts and simultaneous floods. The hots are getting a lot hotter, the dries drier. You saw one of the most devastating wildfires in American history in the middle of winter.
Dude, I guarantee he wouldn't be able to talk if you put his arms together. He couldn't use his hands. He'd be like,
there's only one man that could do it better than him. Who's that man?
Ricky Bobby.
Ricky Bobby.
I felt like I was on a spaceship, and I'm not sure what to do with my hands.
Be good just to hold him down by your side. Yeah, great.
Well, we were real happy with what was going on. And at the end of the day, you got to be happy.
Oh, fucking Ricky Bobby. So is Gavin Newsom Harvey Dent or Ricky Bobby? Or is he a good-looking Ricky Bobby?
I don't know. Hey. Community that watches us, let us know which one you think he is. I think it's funny, though. Will Ferrell's hilarious.
Yeah, it's hilarious. That was a great show. My wife gets so mad because between that and Step Brothers, I watch them all the time. Like,
if I see them on, I'm watching them, dude. So
great shows.
Yeah, you either love Will Ferrell or you hate him, but I love him to death. But anyways, what about this other cat, dude?
Which one's that, Featherman?
Oh yeah, man. Well,
hold on a second. I want to say something. I mean, so we elect all these officials in the government, right?
Okay.
And every time they in there, and this is going right where you want to talk about, but I forgot to mention this. Every time we put them in there, they talk about their power. They're coming to power.
Right.
I'm so sick of hearing that. I mean, we became so servant that, we put them up on a pedestal like they're fucking gods and this is Olympus. I mean, no, we voted them son of a bitches in. I mean, that they're our representatives. They have no power but the power we give them.
That's right.
And it's nice to see that some people, actually want to vote for their constituents. You shouldn't have a party, I don't care what party it is, to where everybody in that party agrees about what's going on, because you represent multiple facets of the United States. What's good for me in my state might not be good for you in your state. So why should our representatives vote on everything the same way? You shouldn't see, well, the Republicans aren't voting this way. No, you should see that every state and every representative from that state is doing what's right for their people in their state.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what's good for the whole country. I mean, it does in a whole, but you're there to represent your state. You're not there to just take money, which they're doing anyway. But I guess what I'm saying is we turned this upside down to where we made these people, like, sadly, gods or celebrities, and they're not. Mm-hmm. They're our representatives, and they need to know that they're there to work for us.
Right.
And I think that's where you were going whenever you sent the Fetterman video, because while I don't have no reason to like or dislike Fetterman, he doesn't represent Louisiana. I mean, I agree with you. I think he says some good things.
Yeah, I mean, you can't, the guy doesn't care about Democrat or Republican. That's how I feel with him. He just cares about his people. And he was quick to move over and vote to open the government to get these people fed, these SNAP, whether, and we can dig back into that later too. The benefits, they found a lot of fraud in that now, right? I forget how many thousands of dead people that are still collecting. I mean, I haven't seen Walmart delivery out at the cemetery yet, delivering food to dead people, but I've heard of this happening before, Brian, where somebody passes away and their family members are still reaping their benefits of Social Security fraud and
Yeah, I've heard of that. Yeah.
So now it's into the SNAP benefits, and we can go into all this stuff. But hey, what did I tell you? My softy is children. So I don't want to hear of kids starving because mom and dad, whether they need the help or they're making bad decisions, they're relying on that benefit to put food on the table. I don't want a kid to go hungry. And that's what Fetterman was looking out for. And he didn't care that he had to not want their special interest. That's where it's all at, Brian, with these parties. Once we put them in there, it's all special interest to them. It's not.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you want,
they're not making money off of us. They're making money off of these lobbyists.
Well, if you want to be successful in politics, you got to raise money.
Yes.
Period.
Yes.
If you can't raise money, you're not going to be successful.
Right.
If you can't raise money, then you need somebody to back you up that can raise money. And once you do that, you're in their pocket.
That's right.
So now you owe them favors.
That's right.
So it's a totally corrupt system from a legal stand. I mean, even though it's legal, it's still corrupt.
Right.
And they the ones that made the laws to where it benefits them. And we were the ones that were too stupid to look at it and say before it got bad, hey, look, this is fucked up. You know?
It'd be cool to go back in history and find out when this first started, because I really don't see George Washington that he had to raise money for his campaign. But then I think about Abe Lincoln on the back of that train, right? The train car doing his big speech. I'm sure there was some money. When you think back to
those guys, I mean, they were prominent people that actually done something in society to where people knew them.
Right.
You know, I mean, what we elect now are just people that want to take, and I shouldn't say that, people that are hungry to take your money is what I want to say.
Yeah.
And it's the truth, because if you had the best people going in there, this country would be great. The problem is the best people are trying to make a good living for their family, and they don't have time to sit there and go through all the hoops that it takes to be a politician.
Right.
You know, nor do they want to rub elbows with these people, because these people are scum. I don't care how you look at it, they're scum. I mean, you would probably want to throw up if we met these people and actually seen what they said about people like us.
Oh yeah.
You know,
or if we spent 6 months with them at their job, dude, and really seen what they were doing, it would probably make you sick to your stomach.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, I wholeheartedly believe that a lot of people that go into politics go into it for the right reasons. I just believe that you can't stay in politics for the right reasons. You won't be successful.
No.
And if you are successful, it's because you got a lot of money, kind of like Trump. And I still think that he has some issues with him too. But we're talking about Fetterman, so let's go back to Fetterman. Let's see what he said on Fox.
Yeah.
Who is running the show now in the Democratic Party, in the Senate, in the House?
No one really knows, and I think my values are reflected in my vote and the things that I support here, and if that might put me at odds with parts of my party, I'm okay with that. I mean, we need to be a big party, a big tent party. So for me, it's like these are pretty reasonable. I mean, my party's always been opposing shutting our government down. I'm not sure why it's controversial now to devote these things. And I refuse to put all these people in the middle of this political kinds of brinkmanship.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad you found that video, because it does shed a light, on that. They do have, some Democrats that do think cleanly. I think we have a lot of Republicans that aren't as conservative as him in some aspects. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure there's a lot of liberal stuff within him. I mean, there's a reason he won, his area, banana. But yeah, I think that, he made the right decision,
No, he
Why
did.
he made
And
the
I would
decision
like
and
to
all is
see
great, but he made the right
more politicians like that. Like when the BS is getting enough, they raise their hand and say, okay, enough's enough. We got to stop this. And those are the guys I want to vote. But what did you say, Brian? If you if you ain't got money and the money ain't coming from your regular paycheck that you get as a Congress or senator, you can't survive off that for campaigning and all that. So you're getting money from somebody, therefore you're in somebody's pocket, however you spend it. Like Fetterman can't go out there and just run on his own. He can't. And
no, nobody can now. I mean, it costs
no.
you so much to run. You know, asking about what Washington and them did, it probably didn't. Oh, not even just today's money and their money, but even if you did today's money and their money, it probably didn't cost them as much to campaign because you didn't have to buy all this media.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
You have to buy so much media and this stuff costs so much to campaign today. You have to be in somebody's pocket. Somebody has to have you in their pocket, should I say.
Right.
In order to get what, you know, you need.
Oh,
it's messed up, but
it is.
I was thinking, you know, with Fetterman, so after he won senator, he had to go into the mental institution or whatever. He went into some kind of hospital. I want to say it was mental. He went in a hospital for a while. And I'm wondering if the campaign was just that much, just with the outside influence coming in on him, that it was enough to break him down. Because I can see how it would be. You know, even if one of us, a normal person, tried to run a campaign like that and had to deal with all this shit that you get hit with from all directions and questioning your morals, how that can actually put you in a position of like, you know what, fuck, you know, I don't even know what's right. I mean, we're not in it, and I watch stuff online, and I'm like, is this real? You know, he's seeing stuff, and people's telling him like, you know, is this even right, wrong? Is this even real? You know, I mean,
well, it's just like, I mean, if you look, I think a lot of these congressmen and senators they've been groomed. I don't think he was one of those. I mean, look at the dude. He was in a sweatshirt. He looked like he had one of my company's black sweatshirts on. It was just missing the logo on it. I mean, this dude don't put on suit and tie and all that stuff. He looks like the Brett Favre of the Senate or the Jay Cutler or something that don't care. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with that statement, but or was he groomed in that nature to appeal to the working class?
No, I don't think so. No, because who would back?
I'm not saying he was. I mean, but it's a possibility, right?
Yeah, but I think he just came out like he put his name out there and got some traction and ended up and maybe that's why he's popular. But sooner or later, I feel like he's going to fall on his face, like you said, because the funds ain't going to be there.
Yeah, unless I mean, I don't know exactly if Pennsylvania's red, blue, black, purple, or green.
I mean, look at Kentucky's Rand Paul. Look at the old dude. I can't even think of my senators. The one that wishy-washy back and forth on Trump's first thing, right? He was all for Trump, and then when Trump started going down at the end, right? What did he do? He jumped ship and started just, and that's what I think Rand Paul's doing. I feel Rand Paul. I don't know. I can't wrap my mind around these back and forth people.
They shouldn't have any. Again, they shouldn't have any personal interests. It should be what their people want, regardless.
Right.
You know, it doesn't. If you elect me in office, and I don't like the color purple.
Right.
But all my constituents, or the majority of them, like the color purple.
Then you better learn to like purple. Yeah, you better learn to like it.
Because that's what I'm representing.
Right.
It doesn't matter what I think.
Right.
You know? Now, if I have an intellectual conversation with someone, I mean, I can share my opinions.
Right.
But when it's time to vote, you vote based on what your people want.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So a lot of the stuff that these people bring up don't matter. The problem is, again, like I said earlier, is we put them up on such a pedestal. They believe, well, I can't even say they believe, they run it now. I mean, it's got to a point, and it's been like that for a long time, that we don't matter anymore.
No,
at all.
They should be our extended, like a megaphone voice for us.
Yeah. Your senator should have all your email addresses, asking you questions and asking polls.
Yeah,
all
what
the
do you
time.
guys
It's
want?
too easy.
Yes.
Yeah, it's too easy today to get your information and find out what your constituents want, not to be able to support them exactly the way you do.
Right.
And if you had somebody that would do that, I bet you they would go a long way, because they can not only, get what the people want, they can be held accountable in real time. The problem is when you get somebody to do that, the establishment is going to take you out. I mean, you're not going to make it long,
Right.
and it's sad.
Right.
It's sad. I mean, they need to implode the whole political shit right now.
No.
Which, I mean, all right, so that brings us right good into what we was talking about. I mean, you said you had seen James Carville on Fox,
Right.
The Raging Cajun,
Yeah.
and you was explaining to me.
Yeah, he was
go ahead and
talking. Yeah,
explain
he
it.
was talking to that. Who'd you say you said she looked like
I call it a gecko,
the
but I
gecko.
can't remember her name.
Hold on.
Mecca Hanley,
Yeah.
Ho.
Yeah,
Mecca
it was Trump's first press secretary in his first term. She's back on Fox News.
Mecca,
Yeah, the blonde girl.
Mecca Holly Ho.
I know they're both blondes. I guess he's big on blondes, but anyways.
Yeah.
But she was interviewing him, and she brought up Fetterman being a good example of how a senator should be, no matter what their politics are. And what's his name? Carville said, if you're going to sit there and say Fetterman is the ideal Democrat, then the Democrat Party, as I know it, is going to heck in a handbasket. And this dude's like 80, 90 years old. And he can't even give that.
He had a lot of political influence.
Oh, he did. Yeah.
I don't think he has it anymore. I think the old Democrat Party's gone. I mean, just look, they elected Mondami. I mean, all the socialist shit they got on the West Coast.
Yeah.
And there's probably so many little socialist towns that we don't even know about.
Right.
And this guy, I mean,
Bernie's happy.
I'm not going to say he's not intelligent, but he's a dinosaur. And I mean,
yeah.
Just to give you an idea where this guy's head is, I mean, listen to this thing that he put on. I think it was TikTok he put this on.
I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. A Democrat is going to be elected in 2028. You know that. I know that. It's going to be a Democratic House. It's going to be a Democratic Senate. The Democratic president is going to announce a special transition advisory committee on the reform of the Supreme Court, that we could have our third branch of government has lost the faith and trust of the American people, and his president are going to do everything along. He's going to appoint a blue ribbon, maybe Judge Ludick and the dean of the, just the usual fucking suspects, all right? And they're going to recommend that the number of Supreme Court justices go from 9 to 13. That's going to happen, people. That's going to happen to you. They're going to win. They're going to do some blue ribbon panel of distinguished jurists, and they are going to recommend 13, and a Democratic Senate and House is going to pass it, and the Democratic president is going to sign it, because they have to do an intervention so we can have a Supreme Court that the American people trust again. So just keep that in the back of your mind. And I would bet a lot of money that that's what's going to happen.
And is he cool with that? Do you think he's good with that? Because
he's more than good with that.
I know, but if you go back and look at the Democratic Party back when he was a young buck, like when my grandpa was a Democrat, but I'm telling you, my grandpa would not support the crap they're doing right now.
Oh, is he good with what he just said? Or
Yes.
is he good with Dami?
No.
Oh, yeah, he's good. I mean, because what he's looking at is you put 13, Supreme Court justices in there,
and all Democrats.
and you make them all Democrat. I mean, you can do whatever the hell you want. You
Yeah.
got the Senate, you got the presidency,
Yeah. There might not be a vote.
Congress
Yeah, guys, there people out there listening, just keep that in mind. There might be no more voting. I mean, people were nervous.
or you could vote, but it wouldn't matter.
Yeah.
Because they would run everything straight through the Supreme Court and make a new law.
What are you going to do? You guys can't even come together. I mean, like you said, can we defend ourselves, Brian? I mean, that's foreign and domestic. When we took that vow, remember that oath?
Yeah.
That means both in country and outside the country of protecting people. So, anyways,
when I go in public, I look around and see, and I hate to even say this, but I look around and see what my army is, right?
Right.
Because what we have in our area, should shit go down, and should somebody from the inside, and I'm not talking about our government. I'm talking about, I mean, we got some bad actors that cross the, the border that we don't know about.
Right.
Should something go down, and we had to protect ourselves, these people in my area, can they contribute? And majority of the time, I'd say no. I mean, a lot of these people, it's almost like I'm never going to Walmart and seeing one of them buggies, those little scooters that are free.
Yeah.
Ever. Somebody's they
Always
always
on there.
taken.
Yeah.
I think, the more that you get, the more they're going to use them.
Yeah.
And to me, handicapped people, I get that, but lazy people, no. And that's sad that we got lazy people that's using these type of things. And that just shows me right then and there that we have a lot of people that's just not ready. They don't have the fight in them.
Right.
Even if they did, they didn't have enough breath in them to fight. I tell, a lot of people, as long as you can breathe, you got a chance. If you can't breathe, then these people, they can't breathe when they walk.
Right.
Right. It's sickening. And that's the issue that I have. I mean, we became soft, and there was a time where, and me also, I mean, we all soft now. My grandparents didn't have air conditioning. You go sit in their house in the summertime, they have an attic fan on, go sit on the porch. And they had a small AC unit in the kitchen, and they might have had one in their bedroom, but it was little window units.
Right.
And you'd go over there and you'd be miserable. I remember my grandpa would tell us all the time, the problem is you don't get outside enough.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not climatized.
Yeah, you're not climatized. And now that I'm in the heat so much, it doesn't bother me at all.
Right.
But back then when I was a kid, I was, just a fat kid that didn't go anywhere. If you went somewhere, unfortunately we didn't have AC in our car, but if you went somewhere, you was more than likely in air conditioning somewhere. And right now, I mean, you climate controlled in your house, you get in your damn car, you climate controlled.
Yep.
You go to where you're going, you're climate controlled. I mean, everybody buys these big old coats and all this other stuff for when it's cold, but you're never outside long enough to get cold.
That's right.
I mean, we are soft, and people don't realize the people that invaded our country, no matter how you look at it. I mean, they invaded it because they came across illegally.
Right.
They are not as soft as us.
No.
They didn't have the easy life we had.
Nope.
So, I mean, if they want to fight, just thinking about it theoretically, they're going to fight harder because they have more that they want than what we have.
No,
so I don't know.
You're 100% right on that. We're soft as a baby's bottom.
But the problem is that now not only are we soft, but I mean, we want all this free stuff, and that's making us softer because we don't have to go anywhere. And how did we get here to where, we have no more pride? And last week, I think was the first week that we introduced Yuri Bezmenov. Now, if you don't know who Yuri Bezmenov is, he's a KBG agent that defected to Canada in the early 80s, I think it was. And he had a couple of great interviews, but there's one in particular I always go back to. But here's a clip of Yuri giving, how we actually get to this. Let's go live.
Ideological subversion is the slow process which we call either ideological subversion or active measures or psychological warfare. What it basically means is to change the perception of reality of every American to such an extent that despite of the abundance of information, no one is able to come to sensible conclusions in the interests of defending themselves, their families, their community, and their country. It's a great brainwashing process which goes very slow. It takes from 15 to 20 years to demoralize a nation. This is the minimum number of years which requires to educate one generation of students exposed to the ideology of the enemy. In other words, Marxism-Leninism ideology is being pumped into the soft heads of at least 3 generations of American students without being challenged or counterbalanced by the basic values of Americanism. The demoralization process in the United States is basically completed already. Most of it is done by Americans to Americans, thanks to lack of moral standards.
And Alicia in particular are trained organizers. We are trained Marxists.
And just so you know, the voice of the last lady talking, she was a co-founder of BLM, talking about Marxists.
And
I mean,
saying that they were trained. So
yeah, and I mean that's just one group,
dude. That's what. Hey, that's what college. That's what elementary, high school, junior high, all that stuff, dude. That's why they put that stuff in there. That it's all government funded. It's all government pushed ideology, right?
Yeah, I believe that now. And you know, honestly, I not just thought of this years ago. I don't remember how many years ago. Anyway, in New Orleans on 4th of July, they do Battle of the Barges, which is a big fireworks show, and it's nice. And a few years back, I took my kids. You know, I didn't see my kids a lot. You know, this was after the divorce, and we sat in back of my truck and we watched, you know, all the fireworks. And at the end, you know, you could put it on a radio station and it's tuned in with the fireworks and everything.
Yeah, music
Well,
to
at
it.
the end, they play. Yeah, at the end they play a national anthem. And, you know, my son don't really care much for the national anthem, about how it's just a poem. You don't really mean anything. And it offended me. And he's in my truck with me. And, you know, and I'm explaining to him, as long as you know, with me, you know, you're going to respect the national anthem. Well, we got in a little bit of a spat. And it didn't work out well that night. You know, he ended up leaving and going home. And it was a big, long thing. But anyway, when COVID come around, it opened my eyes on what they were teaching these kids. And I didn't understand, and I'm not saying this is exactly where it come from, but I mean, what if my son was taught that in school? You know, what if that's what they're teaching, and I'm going at him because, you know, I'm a Marine, and, you know, you're going to respect the damn national anthem, right? But if I'm not around and he's being taught this junk, you know, about the national anthem, I mean, am I the asshole? You know, for not knowing? I mean, seriously, for not knowing, you know, what they're being taught. I mean, we just gave too much lenience to the government with our kids.
Yep, we did.
And so, yeah, I mean, that's one aspect where, you know, I learned a lot during COVID. You know.
Oh, and let's spin it even deeper, because this just popped into my head. Back in the day, like my mom tried to work. And then we had issues with the babies, or the next door neighbor babysitting us. So dad had my mom quit her job and stay back home with us kids. So my mom didn't go back to work until us kids got old enough to take care of ourselves, where we didn't have to have a babysitter. My mom and dad were able to do that, Brian. Now, dad liked the money. So my mom having that job when she went back, you know, brought extra money in, but he made enough at the time. My grandpa, same way. My grandma worked, I think, at the school in the lunchroom or whatever. So she was she was gone when the kids were gone. But when they were home, she was home. You see what I'm saying? So society wasn't raising their kids back in the day.
Yep. Yeah, you're right.
The government's made it.
My mom stayed home with us.
Hey, the government's made it so hard for a single parent to provide enough for the other parent to stay home on the regular basis. What does that cause, Brian? Government raises your kid.
Yeah. But
we're too busy working. We're not really paying attention to what, I mean, our kids brought their schoolwork home, Brian. We helped them get through it the best we could, but we weren't really digging into what they were getting taught. But anyways.
But going back to accountability, I agree with you.
Yes.
I'm not arguing that with you, but going back to accountability, I mean, we allowed that to happen.
Yes.
So our parents, you know, went ahead. I mean, my dad didn't make a lot of money. My mom made, she cooked every day. I mean, we knew what we was eating every day. I mean, we was on that schedule. You had this day,
Yeah.
So we knew, like, I think it was what day was going to be fried chicken and what day was going to be spaghetti. We
Yeah,
knew all
Taco
that.
Tuesday.
And yeah, because Mama was on, she was on a budget and she made it all work. I mean, she
Yep.
did a great job of that, but she stayed home. She took care of us, and Daddy worked.
Right.
Now, when we got older, I mean, who wasn't watching the politicians? If we say it's the government, who wasn't watching the politicians to where, all of this got out of control, to where, we all end up having to go to work. I think a lot of it started with the feminist movement, which
Yep.
I'm not saying that women shouldn't have, rights and all this other stuff. But what I am saying is I think really believe that the feminist movement was created to get more women out working, because now you have more people in the workforce.
Yep.
And is the collateral damage that all the kids ended up in government training?
Yeah.
I mean, that's how we're looking at it now. I mean, it's basically what it was.
Yeah.
Colluding ourselves.
Yep.
And hell, we took it a step further. We went to the Marine Corps after our government training in school.
Yeah. But
So-
I don't remember progressive socialism crap being shoved down my throat in school. That it wasn't there. We prayed. Prayer was allowed in school. 10 Commandments was posted up when I was in school in the 80s, and I graduated 93. So, but Marine Corps, you could look at it like that. The way like we were just talking, you told your son, I'm an ex-Marine, you're going to honor that national anthem. I was just having a thought when you were talking about it, when I was home on leave or whatever, when I was still in active duty, if that thing came on the TV, I stood up to attention, because you were told anywhere that thing played, you better, if you're still active duty, you better lock it up. And if you're wearing the uniform and got a cover on, you better be saluting and facing wherever a flag might be.
Yeah, face the music. Yeah, the music or the flag.
Yeah, you remember on the base, man, you'd be like, you'd hear that pre-horn, boy, you were like booking it, man.
Let me get inside somewhere.
Yeah, that dude ran a 17-minute 3-mile run trying to get away from that dang, because you didn't want to be like
warning.
outside, like you'd have groceries in your hands leaving the PX, man. You're like, but yeah,
Man, you
any
better stop.
veteran knows that, so they'll probably get a kick out of that. But but they trained us, right?
Yep.
Did the Marine Corps not break us down and build us back up to the way they wanted us? And it's a form of brainwashing.
But I don't think it's brainwashing to the extent that they brainwash you to accept the government. I mean, they brainwashed you to love your country, yeah. But I didn't leave the Marine Corps and think I love my government. I thought I love my country.
Yeah.
Now I would support, the president, because that's what I had to do.
Right.
Now, but again, I wouldn't turn my guns on an innocent, in the United States. Now, if they were, I don't know. I think that's even that's a whole nother fucking debate for another day.
We can get darker. Yeah, we can go real dark with it.
This is the Sense and Senseless Podcast.